Well, he definitely was more inclusive of his younger years. We've had numerous people on this podcast that have come from Cuba and that have
Sure.
migrated in the last 10, 20 years. But he did talk about his childhood, more than anybody else I've heard. So, yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Well, and I think that's kind of for me listening to the story. I think that's what really pulled me in is getting those finer details of how your school system works. You know,
Yeah, I think Tim. I mean, Nick's right. We've had several guests on, and I don't want to name them by name because I'm not calling anybody out on what they wanted to talk about, what they didn't want to talk
sure,
about, just because it's such a personal thing, and it's something that I don't think that we as Americans can fully appreciate or understand. I think Nick has probably a better or at least a closer understanding of it than we do because he's been boots on the ground in Cuba for many years, and he's intimate with the details of what happens in Cuba, what goes on, and the people, and in all of that. But when you have somebody on and you're able to talk with them, and they're open and they're honest about it in not a negative way. I don't think anything Noel said in the interview was meant to be malicious or construed as
No, I,
complaining or talking ill of Cuba. Instead, it was very matter of fact. This was my life. This is how I got started in the industry. You asked how I got started. This is how I got started from a very young age,
and I
right?
think he was also trying to differentiate himself in the fact that he didn't come from a tobacco legacy family. It was something that he did. All kids that lived in that area did, and how he just really did it to make money. That's really why he did it. He's like, oh, this is a good way for me to make money, and he started selling them, at the farm and to people there, and so for him, it was a financial way to get ahead in Cuba. And
Yeah.
then he caught the bug, and ever since then, he's been pretty much into it.